China is facing a severe power crisis. What happened to China? Let's find out in this video. China has been hit by a serious power shortage that has severely affected the operations of many factories and businesses across the country, causing widespread blackouts and power cuts. Many power plants in 2/3 of China's provinces have suffered from a lack of electricity, forcing many factories to stop production for at least a few hours. Millions of households in northeastern China have also lost power and could not use electricity to meet their basic needs. According to the South China Morning Post, some key suppliers for Apple and Tesla had to buy generators and stockpile inventory to maintain their supply chains. In short, the power crisis has had a major impact on China's economy and also disrupted the global supply chain. Because, as you all know, most of the world's goods are produced in China. So what caused China to fall into such a dire situation? First of all, the main reason is the severe shortage of coal supply, the main raw material for electricity production in China. According to statistics, in 2022, coal accounted for about 65% of China's total electricity generation capacity. I use the data from 2022 because I couldn't find any newer data. Although it may change over time, you can rest assured that it will not differ significantly from the current situation. Because it takes a long time to build and put into operation a power plant. So why is there a shortage of coal? The reason is that China has introduced many new policies on coal security control. Australia also imposed a ban on coal exports to China. This caused China to lack a huge amount of coal, resulting in the power plants operating less efficiently than before. In addition, the price of coal also unexpectedly soared. The second reason is that China has an increasing demand for electricity use. We see that the weather is becoming more harsh and the demand for electricity use of the people is also increasing. But in fact, this change is only a mosquito compared to China's demand for electricity use increasing mainly from the factories that are being built more and more and operating more strongly. Especially when China's economy depends on heavy industries that consume energy such as steel, cement and chemicals. The third reason is that China participates in the US program to protect the environment and limit greenhouse gas emissions. You see that environmental protection is one of the rare activities that China and the US cooperate with each other. Currently, China is the largest greenhouse gas emitter in the world with more than 28% of the global total, which means more than 1/3 of all other countries combined. Therefore, China also participates in protecting this increasingly deteriorating planet by reducing emissions, and one of those ways is to raise the emission standards of coal-fired power plants. But the problem is that when the emission quality wants to be improved, the coal-burning technology must be optimized and modernized, and that involves investing more money and changing more machinery. That disrupts China's power system and prevents them from freely building more low-standard power plants as before. Therefore, the speed of electricity supply does not keep up with the increasing demand for electricity use. China pledges that we will emit maximum greenhouse gases by 2030. And we promise that by 2060, China will have 100% clean energy sources without emissions. Looking at it, we see that China is acting very altruistically in protecting the environment. But facing this crisis, they can't ignore their economy and commit to a clean environment either. So the immediate solution for China is to buy and burn as much coal as possible. China has ordered domestic coal mines to increase their output to the highest possible level and allowed power plants to raise retail prices to encourage them to buy coal at higher prices. In addition, China has also relaxed restrictions on coal imports from countries such as Indonesia, Russia and Mongolia to supplement domestic supply. However, this is not a long-term solution because it violates the commitments that China has made in environmental protection. Therefore, China is investing more in hydropower, solar power and wind power. They are even aiming for nuclear power with research and development of artificial suns. This is a fusion reactor that can provide unlimited energy for humans. If successful, maybe the Chinese government will have to beg people to use electricity because there is too much surplus. That is a dream scenario. Currently, China has a very huge power generation system with a total installed capacity of 2,240 gigawatts, twice that of the US. Of which coal accounts for 51.8% of total installed capacity. Hydropower accounts for 17.8% of total installed capacity. You see that China owns many giant hydropower plants. Just Tam-Heap Dam alone can provide a maximum of 197 billion kilowatt-hours per year, while the entire United States consumed 4,076 billion kilowatt-hours in 2022, including imported electricity from other hydropower plants. China's hydropower is so huge that it only accounts for nearly 18% of total installed capacity. The third is wind power, accounting for about 10.4% of total installed capacity. This is the renewable energy source that China likes the most and invests the most in both onshore and offshore. The fourth is solar power, accounting for 10.2% of total installed capacity. You see that there are hills in China that are covered with solar panels. The fifth is natural gas, accounting for about 4.5%. This is a fossil fuel source that has lower greenhouse gas emissions than coal and oil. Finally, nuclear power accounts for about 2.4%. In general, China is investing in building a lot of renewable energy to protect the environment and aiming for fusion power to achieve the highest efficiency. But that road seems to be still very long. What do you think about China's direction? Is it reasonable or not? Is it better than the US or not? Let's discuss it together. Thank you for watching the video. Goodbye and see you again.